Hi, welcome to From Broken to Blessed. I'm your host, Daisy Rogers, and today I'm here with Chelsea Payne from Down Syndrome Love Club. Thank you
Yep.
for being here.
Of course. I'm so excited.
So, obviously, we're talking about Down syndrome, and that is a super special topic to me as it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just want to know all of it. You have a really interesting story. Not only do you have a son with Down syndrome, but you have a history with Down syndrome even before that. So,
Yeah.
just take it away.
Okay. So my aunt and uncle, so my family, we were blessed with a little boy with Down syndrome in my family. Um, I believe I was 12 at the time, and I had never met anybody with Down syndrome. Like, it was so new to us, and immediately I was like, this kid is the best. Like, he was magic, you guys. Like, oh, just magic. And he had tons of health complications. So immediately it started off rocky with him. His name's Peter. He was just, I'm gonna start crying. I'm an emotional girl. I genuinely, like, the fact that I'm talking about him is so much growth for me because I went about 10 years without saying his name.
I'm going to cry this whole
Yeah.
time. I just.
So, we had him, so he was born, he had really lots of health complications. And,
Which I'm not well versed.
okay.
Is that typical?
Typical. It's so much of a spectrum.
Okay.
So 50-50 chance of having heart conditions, whether it's extreme or not extreme. There's a lot of bowel, like esophagus to bowel issue. There's some issues. So, like, there's typical stuff that when you go for your anatomy scan, they're looking for as markers that indicate Down syndrome. So he had a lot of them. He had, I think I should have asked my aunt today. I think he had 6 surgeries in his 2.5 years. He had a feeding tube. He had lots and lots of issues. But me being 12, I think I was 12 when he was born. Me being so young, it was so innocent. Like, I never thought like him going into surgery meant anything bad. I genuinely was like, oh, they're just fixing it. It's fine. It's like no big deal. And long story short, like, well, this kid was the love of my life. Like, he was my cousin, but it was like I felt this spiritual connection to him. I was in love with him. I felt like my aunt and uncle had him for me. Like, I was like, this is my kid, I loved him. I watched him constantly. I had him all the time. I would do his therapy with him. Just adored him. And so by that 2-year mark, I was 14. I was 14. I was a freshman in high school, and I watched him overnight. Like, I was with him all the time. Like, me and my mom, like, it was a constant battle of who got Peter. Like, we fought over this dude. And my aunt and uncle were going out of town one weekend, and my aunt had an older daughter that she was 18 at the time. And so her and I were best friends, and she had us watch him for the weekend, and while they went out of town, and he had a cold that weekend, and we were like, it was really hard. Like, I was so young, I didn't know what I was doing. And so we ended up calling my mom, and my mom took him, I think it was a Sunday night. And then Monday, his parents came back, and we had a family get together for my cousin's birthday. So the whole family was together, and then that night he died in his sleep. Just didn't wake up. And so my aunt, they had another baby. So he was 2.5, and they had a baby, and I believe he was 6 months at the time. And she was going in to feed him, and Peter had a very distinct sound. You could hear him breathe, and she had realized that she wasn't hearing him breathe, and by that time he had already died. And so I woke up in a panic. So I heard my mom's car alarm go off at 2 a.m. The whole thing, me and my brother heard it. We ran over there middle of the night. Fire trucks were there. They took him. He was gone.
And you're 14.
So I'm 14. And so, like, that's like a big age of like grief. Like, I didn't know how to process it. Now looking back, I'm a very avoidant grief. I don't like to talk about it. I suppress it. I shove it down. So, like, people would start to bring it up. Like, my parents would try to talk stories about him. I shut it down. I couldn't hear about it. Like, I got home from my aunt and uncle's house from, like, I was the one who opened the door to them declaring him dead to the detectives. Like, it was so awful. And I walk in and all of Peter's stuff's all over the floor. His toys, his high chair, his everything was there. And so I went to my other aunt and uncles for a week. I couldn't deal with it. I was like, I can't see anything of Peter's. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. It was just devastating to me. And so basically, then my so that year I had met one of my girlfriends and in high school, and her brother happened to have Down syndrome too. So that's Peter. So Peter, love of my life, lost him. It was just devastating. And then my girlfriend's brother has Down syndrome, and he was a year older than us. So then all of high school was everything with Jordan. Like, we just had the time of our lives with him. So we did all of like his special, like, it was like all the dances, all the, like, I had my elective for class, I worked with him. And I ended up doing my senior project. I did a cheer team for all the girls with special needs, and
fun.
the only girls that joined were all the girls with Down syndrome. And so they ended up cheering with freshman cheer for, I think they just stopped it like this year, and I graduated 10 years ago. So it started like a whole little thing, and it was just so cool. And so I'm a hairdresser, and I always wanted to do hair. But then once all of this happened and I felt so connected to people with Down syndrome, I was like, maybe I should be a special education teacher. I don't know. But then I was like, no, like, I've wanted to do hair my whole life. Like, I really need to fulfill that. And if I feel like that after school, maybe I'll go and do that.
Mhm.
And I never felt like that was the right thing for me. And then see, I'm just such a rambler.
It
It's
works.
just like all the things. Okay, so like so back in the day, this is something just funny about me. Like, I have two older brothers, and I begged my parents to have more kids. Like, begged. Like, I would not leave them alone. And I found this website when I was 16, and it was children with Down syndrome. And I made a PowerPoint presentation with all these different babies with Down syndrome available for adoption, trying to convince my parents to adopt a baby with Down syndrome. Okay, like, I'm crazy. And my parents were like, Chelsea, when you're a mom, you can have as many children as you want, and if you want to adopt a child with Down syndrome, go for it. And I was like, okay. And anyways, and so there's just something funny about me. And then I just recently actually found a journal entry from when I think I was 16, and I wrote, when I get married, I want to adopt a baby girl and a baby boy with Down syndrome. So it was just like always something I wanted. Like, when I would date boys, like, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm going to adopt a baby with Down syndrome. And like, some guys would react different. And then it was just like,
It's a
I
part
don't
of
know.
you.
It was just a part of me. I felt so drawn to it. Like, I would walk into a room and see kids with Down syndrome. I'm like, these are my people, like, oh, like, it was just so like, and I'm sure it started with Peter. Like, it did. I couldn't speak of him, but I could do all the Down syndrome stuff. Like, I couldn't talk, like, somebody would bring him up and I would shut it down. But with the Down syndrome in general, I'm like, let's do this. I loved it. And so we had our first daughter. This girl is a spicy woman. I was like, this girl is like, everyone described their first daughter, like, or their first kid, as like this, like, obedient, like, oh, I heard it
my
all the
gosh.
time. I'm like, what?
I
This
swear,
girl
like,
is
my daughter must be crazy.
No.
Like, why is
Straight
she
up.
not like
This
any of
girl
these
came out with
other?
like a freaking firecracker. She's a firecracker. I'm like, what is this?
Our daughters would be friends.
She's a party, a freaking party. That's where I'm like, what is this? She's so funny. And so obviously, knowing my story now, I'm like, it makes complete sense. But so then we go to have our second child, and I get pregnant. I knew it was a boy. I had 3 dreams. Then I had taken tests. We were going out of town. It was negative. And then I had 3 dreams 3 nights in a row when we were on our trip that it was a baby boy. I don't remember. I wish I remembered the dreams. I really
Mhm.
do. But I just remember being like, oh, I'm totally pregnant. Like, it's a boy. And I don't have sisters. So I was like, oh, I wanted it to be a little girl for my daughter. I wanted her to have a sister. And then I was like, no, but I'm having a boy. Like, it totally having a boy. And then I was sick with my daughter, but I was like unbelievably
So
sick.
sick.
Yeah. So I had a stomach pump with Zofran.
Oh my word.
For
Like, so sick.
oh yeah, like, I was like, my blood pressure was just devastatingly low. Like, I was not well. And so they put me on home health, which gives you IVs and I had a little fanny pack with medication all of the time. It was a trip for sure. And so when it came to genetic testing, I had been doing Christian healthcare,
Mhm.
and I was like, I just that pump I had to pay $2,000 out of pocket every week, and then I would get reimbursed, but it was just so much. And now looking back, I think it was a blessing I didn't find out then, and so I didn't do genetic testing because I'm like I didn't want one more thing to pay for,
Mhm.
and I was just.
Which I feel like that's not super common to do anyways.
People do it because they want to find out the gender. 'Cause that's
Oh,
when
okay.
people, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's the NIPT.
Okay.
So it's the trisomy test. So nowadays, back in the day, it was a different test, but now I think in the last like I don't know, this is gonna be so wrong, like 5, 6 years, NIPT test, they call it like the trisomy test. Like they find trisomy 14, 18, 21. That is what they're looking for. Um, and then people do it because they want to know the gender at 10 weeks because
Okay.
that's when they take the blood. Yeah. And so I had declined it because I already knew it. I was like, it's boy, and I wanted to find out an ultrasound. Anyways, it was a whole thing. And so then because I was so sick, they sent me to a high risk doctor to do my anatomy scan. And so I remember going with my husband, and I had already had a kid, so I had already done an anatomy scan. Like it was like an hour long, no big deal, you know?
Mhm.
And so we go to the anatomy scan, and I'm like filling out all this paperwork, and like they kept asking because like they had called and they wanted to know if we had any relatives with Down syndrome. And my husband has, his cousin also has a child with Down syndrome, and then because of Peter, it was on both of our sides. Which technically, there's only 3% that actually is genetic.
Interesting.
It's 97% of trisomy 21 is not. It's just
Fluke.
fluky. It just attaches either to the sperm or the egg, and it's just random. So, but they kept
Mhm.
asking over and over and over, and I thought that was so weird. And I was like, I remember just thinking that is so weird. Why are they asking over and over? And like being so like it's that misconception also that it only happens when you're older, right? Like
Mhm.
it's just like normal. Like you always hear it's older moms having kids that have kids with Down syndrome. You don't think about it.
Right.
And so I was just like, that's so weird. And then we go in for my anatomy scan, and I'm not kidding. I was in there for 3 hours. Like, and so finally my husband was like, okay, I'm going to take Bowie home to go take a nap. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. Like, I was just like in La La Land, like, do, 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 do. Like, I was like, we're at a high risk doctor. Maybe it's just different here, you know?
They just take extra time.
Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? And so then all of a sudden, and it works different. I tell people this and they're like, the ultrasound shouldn't have said anything. It was different because it's like literally her doc and a front desk girl. It's a different, the way that they work there, it's very different. Like she kept writing little notes, and then she'd go to the doctor. The doctor would ask her to look for something else. And it was just this back and forth thing for hours. And I was like, what is going on? So then all of a sudden she comes in, she's like, yeah, so we're seeing a lot of markers for Down syndrome. And I was like, what? Like me? And then I remember being like, and I just started crying because I instantly went, Peter, like health issues. Oh my gosh, is this going to be my story again? Like I'm going to
Mhm.
have this sickly baby. I freaked out. And obviously, so now I
And
know
your husband's gone.
my husband's gone.
Okay.
It's just me. I'm laying there and I'm like, what do you mean? And so then she goes, yeah, it's with all these markers, it's looking honestly like a 50-50 chance that like the baby's gonna have Down syndrome. I was like, okay. And I remember just being like, okay, like, yeah, okay. Um, cool. And then she explained to me that markers aren't things that are wrong.
Mhm.
Because that's what scared me too. Because she kept saying all these markers. And she's like, no, markers are just indications of Down syndrome.
Right. Not
Meaning,
red flags necessarily.
correct. Like, because I went straight to, oh my gosh, he's going to have a heart problem. Oh my gosh, what if he has to be on a feeding tube like Peter? And what if and I was just spiraling, like thinking of all these things that could have gone wrong with him.
Mhm.
And so he just had like, for example, like his kidneys were just slightly different sizes. That's a marker.
Okay.
His his two lower chambers of his heart, slightly different sizes. His two little pockets in his brain right here, slightly different sizes. What else? He had a nasal bone. People always ask, he had a nasal bone. He has, they measure like their neck. But his biggest, thing was that his body to head to leg ratio was like tried and true Down syndrome. So his body and his head measured 50th percentile and his legs were less than 1 percentile, meaning their femur bones and then why am I blanking on this bone right here? But these bones were less than 1 percentile. Just itty bitty.
Interesting.
And that's just very classic trisomy 21. Just has to do with the way they're made because of their extra chromosome. And I was like, okay. And then she reassured me, nobody's going to notice that his leg, she's like, I was like, is he going to have small legs? And she's like, no, it's just how it is. Anyways, so then they had me take the NIPT right then.
Mhm.
And then it took like 12 days to get it back. And I didn't tell my husband the whole
You
time.
did not
because
tell him?
I was like, I didn't want to stress him out if I didn't have to.
You're like, you left. You don't get to know.
Sorry,
Oh, my
babes.
word.
No, I didn't. And it was his, like, we were going up north for his birthday weekend.
Mhm.
I was like, and mind you, okay, really side story. My dog was like dying in the hospital. Like, he was like seriously right at this time. So like I'm crazy. He had like a feeding tube in his neck. He was only 5 at the time and was like about to die. Like I saved. We got another year and a half with him, but it was crazy. So I'm like in and
There's a
out
lot
going to
going
the
on right
vet
now.
with him, and then all of a sudden I find out my baby's gonna have Down syndrome, and then we're going up north with his whole family,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't want to stress him out. Like, what if it's nothing? Because he knows about Peter as well. Like I didn't want him to be scared
Mhm.
either, so I didn't tell him. And then I got a call on a Sunday morning from my sweet, lovely doctor. She's the cutest thing in the world. And she called me and she's like, okay, it looks like the baby's going to have Down syndrome. And I was like, okay, that was it. She's like, do you have any questions for me? I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm like, done. Okay. And seriously, like from there, it was like, just like, oh, like I felt Peter for the first time since I lost him. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like Peter is sent me this little baby to heal the part of me that I never could heal. Like, I never truly felt healed from him. And he like, oh, he knew I needed this baby, you know? And so we told our whole families and everyone was, and I have to preface this, our families love people with Down syndrome. His family, my family, like Teddy could have not come to a better family. Like, like our family welcomed this baby with beyond open arms. Like, our families shouted it loud and proud from the rooftops that we got him, and it has just been magical. Like, he truly has been. It feels like we have an angel in our home.
Ugh.
Like, I know. So we told all of our families, and then my husband's like, you have to call your aunt and uncle. And I'm like, I have to call them.
Peter's parents.
Yep. And so I was going to go over there, but I'm like, no, I need to tell them right now. And so I called them. And I didn't even have words. I'm like, okay, hi guys. And they're like, what's going on? They're like at a construction site. They're like doing all these things. And they're like, what's going on? It's like the middle of the day. My daughter's at dance. And I'm like, so we just found out our little baby's going to have Down syndrome. And they just sobbed. Like, I wish I could have recorded that phone call. My uncle was just like, oh, is the baby a boy or girl? I'm like, the baby's a boy. And he was just like, oh, Peter sent this baby to us so that we could heal. And we were like, I just felt, he just gave him, it was, they were just like, if anyone's going to get this baby, it's going to be you. Like,
Yeah.
I feel so not qualified for this, but I'm so glad it's me. So they were just thrilled. And our whole family was like, oh my gosh, this is like our chance to have our baby with Down syndrome that we like had with Peter, but we lost him so young. And we all felt like, I mean, his parents really did feel like he needed a body, and then he did what he needed to do. Like,
Mhm.
everyone felt we don't know how he died. They didn't do an autopsy. It was very much just like we felt like he did his job here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why we lost it. He would be 18 right now, which is so wild. Anyways, so yeah, we had him in February 2024. And that kid, oh.
He is the
Oh,
cutest kid I've ever seen.
And of course he came out with bright one, like white blonde hair. He looked like a literal angel coming out.
Ugh,
And it
every
was,
time your
oh,
TikToks come up, I show them to my husband because we're always like in bed. I'm like, I would die for this kid. I've never met this kid,
oh,
but I would die for
you
this
would
kid.
need to snuggle
I,
this baby.
ugh,
He is just pure magic.
he's,
And I feel like seriously like I like sometimes like me and my husband will be sitting there at night and we both look at each other like I can't believe we actually have him. Like seriously.
Mhm.
And so that's like, oh, he's just so you want to know something cute is that so obviously I called my aunt and uncle Peter's parents right after like I shortly after birth and um send them pictures and my uncle texted back and said that Peter high-fived Teddy on his way down from heaven and
Mm.
sent him to me and I was like he sure did like he just gave me him and yeah it felt very somebody used the word serendipitous. It felt very serendipitous. It felt very divine. It felt very much like it's like something you think is going to happen your whole life, and then it truly does happen. It's like genuinely mind-boggling. And I know it's probably weird for everyone out there who doesn't know anybody with Down syndrome. Why?
Yeah.
So I get comments like that all the time. They're like, "How could you wish this upon somebody?" I'm like, "I didn't wish this upon somebody." But if Heavenly Father is going to send a sweet little baby that needs a mom to anybody, and they had I mean seriously I would have taken I just love anybody with a disability. I feel so close to heaven when I'm near them.
Mhm.
And I was like I want to be that mom that has that true love and like all of the time. And so I get comments like that all the time. They're just like what? Like how could you want that? And I'm like you just don't know till you know, you know.
Yeah.
So but that's basically like the story. Like yeah, I would say that's
I love that. I feel like it's such a different mindset because my
It
family's
is.
very much like that. Like we've always
Totally.
special needs. I've always
Totally.
worked in that
Mhm,
area, in that line of
mhm.
work. I've always done that.
Yep.
And I feel like you either have this like
Yeah.
undying love for them
Uh-huh.
or you just haven't had a
I was
chance to
gonna say, I think
experience
a
it yet.
lot of it is that people just haven't been around it.
Right.
And so it's just like so foreign to them and they
Mhm.
picture having a child in your home forever. Like people are like, you're gonna have a child in your house forever. And I'm like, if I'm gonna have any child, who doesn't end up with kids back in their house? And if I'm gonna have a kid in my house forever, I'd rather it be him.
Right.
I really would. Like genuinely. Like this kid's not gonna be a mean kid. He's not gonna be a bully. He's not gonna be a murderer. He's just gonna be this sweet, sweet boy. And it's just
I hope his hair stays white.
I owe it better.
That would just be so cool.
I know. Yeah, I just think that it truly is your mindset. If you look at it as a negative thing, you're gonna have negative feelings about it. You're gonna
Mhm.
feel, why me? Why would this happen to me? Why would God do this to me?
Right.
Why? But like seriously having the mindset of like, why me? But like, how did I end up so lucky? It
Mhm.
changes everything. It really does.
And I think that when you have the perspective of, I don't want to say he's limited, but there are
Right.
things that he won't do in life,
Totally.
right?
Yep.
His sole purpose is to love on you.
Totally.
Like, you just get to be loved all
I
day by
do.
that little boy.
And I think that there's a really big misconception that they can't. There was a really cool for World Down Syndrome Day last year. There was the coolest ad that came out, and it was this beautiful girl, and she was basically saying, "Okay, so you think I can't do this? Then I don't do it because I never got told." So she was okay. So she's saying, "Okay, you think I can't work out?" So I don't work out, so I never learn that I can work out in whatever situation it is.
Mhm.
They were never pushed to
Yeah.
do any of these things,
Mhm.
to have jobs, to go to college. I just did a photo shoot last week with this sweet boy and he's in college at GCU.
Love that.
And the girl that he was with, she's on a service mission. And there's so many
Is that
things
the
they can do.
couple that you posted?
They're just friends.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like a friend couple. But
That's so
no,
cute,
they're the
though.
cutest. But the rest of them were couples. Yes.
So cute.
The ones that were sitting down in the video, they're just friends. But I was just like, if you never are pushed to do something, you don't know what they can do. Kids with Down syndrome back 100 years ago only lived till they were like 10 years old.
Right.
People thought they were born and were useless for life. because no one ever gave him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
You would have the baby, they would see him have Down syndrome, and they would send him away. They never got the healthcare they needed. They never had therapy. They never had any of the things they needed to thrive in life.
Right.
And that's what's so beautiful. I always say I'm so lucky to have him in this time specifically, because they're so immediately, like, I got therapy. He started physical therapy at 3 months old. Like, he has had healthcare from the second he was born. They knew what he needed. It's just such a lucky time to have him.
So many resources.
So many resources. And it's like, and even with social media, like, you see the beauty of it, whereas like I get a lot of messages from moms that are pregnant and they find out their baby has Down syndrome, and they're like, I saw it and I saw that it could be a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, if you just, because when you go to your doctor's appointments, I mean, they handed me a book this big of all the things that could go wrong with him. It freaks you out.
Yeah.
They show you the timeline charts. They compare it to a typical child, and they show you what what a child with Down syndrome is going to do. It sounds terrifying. It really does. Like, even me, I grew up in my little bubble of accepting and loving people with Down syndrome, it still freaked me out. I'm like, how can I be the best mom for him? How can I give him all these things? And sometimes it still feels daunting. I'm like, am I doing enough for him?
Mm.
But it's like, it's just, we are in a good time with all this social media and all this positive stuff for them. It really is. Because I think, honestly, with all these people that have gone viral on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, there's so much awareness now that people are like, oh my gosh, these kids are the cutest things in the world. You know? And I don't think prior to social media, if you didn't know anybody with Down syndrome, you had no idea.
You had no idea.
No idea.
So speaking of social media, you have recently started Down Syndrome Love Club.
Yes.
What is the purpose of that? What's the goal of that?
Okay. So originally it started because I would go on like Etsy and I'd look for like, I'm like, I want everyone to know my kid has Down syndrome, I'm like, yep, this is my baby. Look at him.
It's not a bad word.
It's not a bad word. It's not. I want to walk into a room and I'll get dirty looks and I'm like, no, he's better than you are. Like, seriously, it's not a bad word. That's a beautiful thing. And so I'm like, I want to rock a t-shirt. And then I would look on there and I'm like, it's just not my vibe. Like, it's not my style. And I'm like, I just wouldn't wear them. And it's fine. But I just like wanted something. Like, I saw there was like some cute autism branch and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are so freaking cute. Like, I just wanted something to wear, like, even with just like normal outfits. And then I was like, there's nothing out there that just like has these cool things that would draw people and that don't even know somebody with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just got to where I was like, I wanted to start this like almost like little love club of people who just daunt over and love all these people with Down syndrome. And so I literally was like, once this thought came, I'm like, my wheels started spinning and I'm like, I have to do this. Like, once I had my son, my husband was like, I feel like you're just going to do something, like, run with this. Like, you're so positive he's always like, I love my son, but like, you want to shout, like, you want to like talk to, like, I see a kid with Down syndrome in the Target and I'm like, where's the parents? Like, I want to talk to them. Like, I'm like, these are my people. Like, I want to talk to them. I find resources. I want to know everything. Like, so many of the cool things I found out for Teddy is because I talked to parents of kids with Down syndrome. Like, I've got so much information just from talking to everybody. I'm like, I wanted somebody to see me wearing my shirt and be like, oh, like, what is this all about?
And I have 3 shirts, and it
You're
has
so cute.
it has stopped me so
It
many
is.
times,
It's
like
so
in my
cool.
chiropractor's office.
Exactly.
And like, just
It's really cool.
it's really cool, and it gives you so many opportunities
does.
to just
talk about it.
Yeah.
And like, people, it also just like makes it so that it's not such not a negative thing, and that's not the right word, but such a, what would be the word?
like taboo almost.
Taboo, like something we're proud of. Like, I want people to like see me wearing this and be like, I'm so freaking proud that my kid has Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And so but genuinely, I have so many ideas for it. Like, I don't want it to stop with t-shirts. Like, I love meeting people with kids with Down syndrome, and so like, I want to eventually like genuinely start a club, like, where I like meet with like, I want it to be like we get our kids together and we do things. And like, I got a message from a mom and she's like, what is this? Like, my son has Down syndrome and he's a teenager and he doesn't have a lot of friends with Down syndrome. Like, is this something that like he can meet friends? And I'm like, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And so I have a lot there's just so many more things that like I feel like I'm like called to do with it. And so like, the first thing I was like, I want to get these shirts. Like, I have 2 little kids. Like, I can't be too crazy right now, but that's where I started. So I'm like, I just wanted I wanted the advocacy. I wanted people who just like would be like, oh, that's a cute shirt. What does that say? Like, oh, that's so cool. And so that's why I started. And I wanted the social media. I wanted it to be like something where it could get spread out and be like, just show the beauty. And like, obviously I try to show the hard too, because I'm like, it is
Yeah.
hard. But like, I wanted to show that like our life is still just normal. It really is just so normal.
I think with any kid, you're going to have to learn how to parent
Oh,
differently.
100%.
Things are just going to be different. I
Oh, yeah.
remember the first night I met you, you worried about having a third baby.
Totally.
And that's something that's really real that most moms wouldn't think about.
Right.
But
I'm like, my baby is like a baby right now. Like, he's almost 2. My best friend's little boy was over. He's 9 months. They're sitting on the floor playing together. I'm like, identical. He feels like a 9-10-month-old. I'm like, so there are some different things that come with my life.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, we have medical appointments. My son has epilepsy. It's a different form of epilepsy. So he doesn't have seizures every day, but he's on a preventative medication. So we have some funky things, but it's like, it is hard. But genuinely, I do hair, and I talk to women all day long. And I would say like 80% of my women I talk to are moms. Everyone has something. Everyone has something. And we all have these beautiful babies that we think are typical, and we think everything's just going to be normal. We don't know.
Yeah.
Mine was just a preconceived thing that I knew he was going to have some different things in life. But like, every child is going to be, not every kid's the same. And so it's like, I just don't, yeah. So I'm like, so the third kid thing, back to the third kid thing, I'm like, it really is just such a unique thing. And usually you base it off like, okay, my kid's going to be this age, and like, I want my kids this far apart. And like, I'm like, mine is just funky because he is turning 2, and I know it's been 2 years, but I still have a baby.
Yeah.
So it's just unique. It's just unique. And I think everyone has their unique, and it might not be a child with disabilities, but it might be who knows what, you know?
But Teddy's just the best and the favorite, and his unique is just perfect.
Oh, it's incredible. I'm like,
so what is something, or since having Teddy, how have you felt heaven closer?
Oh. When I tell you, it feels like there's like a shining light over my house. Like, me and my husband talk about it all the time. Like, we feel like we have this like wall of heaven in our home. Like, I need you to meet him. You hold him for the first time, and you're like, I'm holding this little piece of heaven. Because like, everyone neurotypical, we have these these, we don't get the innocence. We don't get that thin veil. Like, we don't get that. We don't get that. He has the beauty of being so close to heaven, you know? Like, he'll be looking out the window, like in the car, and me and my husband are like, oh, what angel's like visiting us, you know? Like, I wonder who it is. Like, he'll be like staring off into space, and we're like, somebody's totally there, you know? And so you just feel genuinely like, you know, when you first have your baby and you're holding him, and you're like, this baby is so fresh from heaven. I feel like that every day with him. Every day. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's so unique and so beautiful. And I think I wish everybody, because I think a lot of people feel this way that have a child with disabilities or like autism, whatever it is, even Down syndrome. A lot of moms really struggle with it. And I mean, there's moments, but I just view it like I got a slice of heaven, you know? I do.
I'm so thankful that you share that slice of heaven with us. I'll have to post so many pictures of this kid. It is like seriously the best. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and helping us to know Teddy a little bit more and his beautiful, beautiful life. Yeah. Well, we'll have to check in and go follow Down Syndrome Love Club.
Yes, please.
And give them all the love and all the support. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Jesus loves you.